Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be going over all things mood boards, from why they're so important to us in the fashion industry to how exactly you can create one step to step. But first, let's start with what even is a mood board. You hear it all the time, but let's really get into it. So at a very basic level, mood boards are a compilation of inspirational images that are a starting point for each new project or new gig. Mood boards are the best way to convey creative ideas to clients across the board. When a stylist or designer, photographer, creative director, or whoever says minimalist or vintage or boho, that can bring up a variety of different images in everyone's head because every single person has their own definition of those words. But by showing them a mood board that incorporates those things, there won't be any confusion. And I have to emphasize the importance of a good mood board to get everyone on the same page because I've been in situations myself where things were lost in translation. Here's an example. I was working on a shoot with a girl and she told me that she wanted to do a vintage look. So in my mind, to me, vintage is 1950s, 60s, way back. So I asked her to send me a mood board or a Pinterest board just so I was crystal clear on what she was going for. This girl sent me a Pinterest board of Aaliyah. I was like, this is considered vintage now? Okay. So that's a perfect example of us having completely different definitions of one word. And that's why mood boards are important to clear the air and avoid that confusion from happening. Now, I do want to note, a lot of times when you get hired onto a job, you personally won't be making the mood board. It's usually already a set theme. But if you're at a point in your career where you have more say and control, you will be asked your input on such things. On the other hand, if you're starting out and you're doing your own shoots like a test shoot or collaboration, then it's likely that you will be the one to create the mood board. Or if you're serving as the creative director of that shoot, you will be expected to deliver a mood board to the team. Either way, it's just a good skill to have and something that you should know how to do if you're in the fashion industry. Now let's get into what to include on your mood board. So every mood board is different depending on the project. The important thing though is to include as many elements as needed to convey the look and feel of what you want your shoot to look like. So here are some ideas of what to include on your mood board. Starting with images. So these can include brand images, editorials, maybe product images, photos found on Instagram or Pinterest. I do want to note that your mood board doesn't have to only include images of clothing. It could be anything from color schemes, nature. You could include photos that just have inspiration for poses, or maybe you're doing a shoot that's super edgy. Include photos that really give off that energy so the model can know, okay, this is the attitude that we're going for. So it doesn't have to be just clothing. It could be neon words, movie stills. It can be just about anything that inspires the overall concept and mood of that shoot. So I just mentioned how Instagram and Pinterest are super popular places to get inspiration for your mood board, but inspiration can come from literally anywhere, from social media, street art, magazines, celebrity style, TV, movies, and much more. So when you're collecting inspiration for your mood board, you should just keep the goal of the finished product in mind. That should be the overarching thing. Now let's get into how to actually create your mood board. This is the fun part. So there's a number of different options when it comes to creating mood boards. You can use just about any design software or sites out there that you might already be using. The top options I recommend are Photoshop, Canva, which is my absolute favorite because they make it super simple to make your mood board in minutes. They have a great variety of built-in fonts, design elements, stock photos that don't look like stock photos that you can add on top of the photos that you compiled while doing your research. Adobe Spark is another great option that offers a lot of flexibility when creating your mood board. Last but not least, you can always use PowerPoint. So I do want to note that there is no right or wrong way to make a mood board as long as it gets done. So every stylist has their own way of making a mood board, and this is just my process. So first I start off with just a quick Google search, and for the purpose of this demonstration, I'm going to go for a gold, really luxurious, opulent gold theme. That's my favorite metal, so let's go for that. So typically I start with Google and I would choose a word representing the concept, which of course here would be gold, along with the word aesthetic. So when you put aesthetic, that usually brings up some great photos in your search, and I go from there and see what photos I can find. And typically when I find something that catches my eye, I like to see what other related images Google suggests for me, and then I just kind of go from there and fall into this rabbit hole. Another great search term would be your concept word, which again here would be gold, but yours might be pastel, edgy, boho, vintage, eclectic, you name it. So I would search that word plus fashion editorial to see what has already been done, because we always look to the past and know your fashion references. It's super important. As a stylist, designer, creative director, whatever you are, as long as you work in fashion, it's so important that you know your references and what has already been done. Now, another place that I love to find research from is Pinterest, but you got to be careful because you can easily end up on Pinterest for like 5 hours. So I like to create boards based on different themes that I could easily refer back to. So let's see what images I already have saved up that can help support this mood board. So I have a board called Glamorous Times, which is very much in line with the gold and metallic theme. So have some great photos, and these might not necessarily inspire the fashion, but just the overall mood. It's just opulent. You have Studio 54, which is a whole mood in itself, you know, the 1970s, and just that whole vibe that I would want the model to embody. So I'm definitely going to include that on my mood board, just because it's the mood. It's not necessarily a dress I might pull or an outfit, but it's just the overall vibe we want to capture. So when I think about the Studio 54 era, I start thinking about what photos have I seen from that time, what celebrities pop up the most, and one of them would be Miss Diana Ross, the queen of glamour. So I definitely want to see what photos of her I can include on this mood board. And again, it's always great to look back on past fashion editorials that fall under your theme or your concept. So here I'm getting inspired by different pieces I could potentially pull, eye makeup inspo, print, as well as silhouettes. Now this photo right here is giving me major Grace Jones vibes, who is another fashion icon you should know. So I'm going to do a search on Google and see what other images of Grace I can pull up for this mood board. Alright, so this is giving me major inspo. I'm loving all of this, and now it's time to put everything together. I just need a couple more images before I'm really happy. So I've searched up aesthetic, fashion editorial, and now I'm just going to type in high fashion and my word again, which is gold, and see what comes up. So one image that really catches my eye right now is this center photo of the 90s supermodel Linda Evangelista wearing this neck full of gold jewelry. So that's making me think back to other famous 90s campaigns. She did this one with Chanel. And all of that gold and garishness makes me think of another famous designer campaign, which was Gianni Versace's of the 90s. His thing was always gold, gold, and more gold. So I'm thinking back to his 90s campaigns when he was still at the helm of the company. I'm just obsessed with these cutouts and these silhouettes. Like, it's just giving me my entire life. So another designer of that time that I'm now thinking about is Terry Mugler, who was not afraid to go all out and be extra at that time and now. So I'm thinking about what designs of his can I add to this mood board to give me inspiration when I'm pulling. I want to be extra. I want all the gold, all the jewelry, all the statement pieces, and Terry Mugler designs are not shy at all. So he definitely has to be on the mood board. Now, all of these bomb bodysuits are making me think about Jean-Paul Gaultier and the work that he did with Madonna, who, if you know your fashion references, you know that he's the one who did her famous cone bra corset bodysuit outfit. So I feel like we have enough photos now. So now it's time to put them all together. I'm going to be putting this mood board together we're going to be putting this mood board together in Canva. So Canva is my current favorite, but again, you can use any of the platforms that I mentioned previously. But for me, Canva is just easier, and I'm learning to work smarter, not harder, so let's stick with that. With Canva, they have a bunch of templates for just about any type of design that you can think of, but of course, we are working on a mood board. So what I do is I use their presentation template. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hover over their template section and find presentation. Then I click on it, and of course, they have a ton of different templates. But I like to start off with a clean slate, so I'm going to click on create a new presentation, and that's going to open up a fresh page for us to create this mood board from scratch. So here is our page, our blank slate, and there's actually two ways. So I'm going to show you two different ways to create your mood board on here. So the first way is you're going to utilize Canva's grid template. So you type in grids under the Elements tab, and it's going to pop up with different grid formats. I like to keep it pretty simple and straightforward, but you have options over here. So we're going with this one, and what I'm going to do now is drag and drop my photos into Canva. So you can't really see it because the screen record doesn't show that part, but I am currently dragging those files, and now they're populating under the Images tab. And wait for those to upload, and then we can literally start dragging and dropping them into their template. So this process is literally going to take just a couple minutes because we've already done our research. We know that all of the images make sense for this theme and this concept, and they all work, they're cohesive. So we start dragging and dropping them in a way that's aesthetically pleasing and easy to understand. So I'm dragging these photos, and one thing I want to note, and the reason I wanted to do two versions of a mood board, is the white spaces distract me. I don't know about y'all, but the gaps create too much of a separation, and it's just not flowing to me. So what I'm going to do is create a new board in the same doc. And now I'm just going to freestyle it. We got more than enough images to play with between Pinterest and Google Images and whatever other areas you sourced your photos from. So now I'm just going to start piecing together images like a puzzle in a way that's aesthetically pleasing and it makes sense for the theme. So the purpose of a mood board for me as a stylist is to serve as a guide when I'm pulling from showrooms and designers. So a good mood board is going to tell me what pieces am I looking for, what silhouettes am I trying to achieve, what jewelry should I pull, what shoes, what's the overall attitude. So that's what a successful mood board conveys. So let's put this thing all together. Alright, we're all done. So you can see how much more cohesive this mood board is and how the images just work and flow together. So now we're just going to add a name, and I like to give a cute name to my mood board. So I'll call this one Gilded Age because we got the all gold everything situation going on. And there you have it. Here's our mood board. So you see how easy it was to put this together after we did our research. A proper mood board conveys the style direction of a shoot. So there should be no question as to what the concept is. And this mood board is just that. You know exactly what we're going for. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, go ahead and leave a comment below and let me know. I made this mood board just for the purpose of this video, so if you want to go ahead and use it for your test shoots, by all means, do so and tag me in it on IG so I could check it out. Make me proud, and I'll catch y'all on the next video. Bye!